Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Seeds of Success. My name is Dottie San Martin. I'm one of the hosts here, along with my colleague, Orly Rivera. Hi, Orly.
How's it going, Dottie?
It is going really good. Orly, our Seeds of Success podcast, we really hope that our listeners are able to gather one or two little tidbits each time and either bring something back top of mind or simply learn something that maybe they hadn't known about before, or just remind them of something that is very important to grow their business. So today, the title of our show is It's Time to Reflect and Reset. So with the new year coming up, this is a really exciting time. We are in the midst of closing out December, and the lanes are full and open play is full and holiday parties are in full action. And so as we start to come to the end of the year, this is the time of the year that I like to really evaluate where I am and look at what needs to be done to position myself for a really, really successful 2024. And I'm sure you're the same way, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a perfect time to, basically a year-end review, what worked, what didn't work, who worked, who didn't work.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And today, that's definitely something that is a concern. But, as I mentioned, the holiday parties, the corporate parties are all happening right now. And, this is a great time. I don't know about you, but I used to make sure that after all of the holiday parties, I took the time to either send a personal thank you card in the mail, which, I mean, that knocked the socks off of people because people, actually send a card anymore in the mail. So it made an impression on the customers. Even if you don't have time to do that, to make sure that you're sending that thank you afterwards and saying, hey, thanks for spending the holidays with us. We, appreciate your business, whatever language you choose, just acknowledging that you appreciate their business goes a long way. So that's one of the things that the end of the month is really a good time to make sure that you're following up with all those events that you had during the month of December. Another opportunity that it presents is this is a great time to look at what is working in your center and what's not working in your center, right?
Yeah.
So with all the holiday parties, do you do a what I call a debrief? That's kind of the military, history of me coming out. But do you do a debrief? Do you get with your staff and say, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? If not, this is a good time to do that. How can we
Yeah.
do it
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And I think it's a good time to also, I know you've mentioned in the past, like what's hot, what's not list. That's a big one when it comes to food. And that one, if you're not sharing it with your kitchen staff, which it's a great thing to share with the kitchen staff. I know they used to love when I would show them that. They'd be like, oh, wow. Like and it's really cool to see what's selling, what's not selling. Because you may think, like, man, we sell a lot of wings. And then you pull up this list for the last 2 months and you're like, wings aren't even our top seller. So it's a really good way to, if there's something you want to push more that's maybe not selling as well as you want it to, or maybe something that's selling really well, like, hey, let's push this even more. That's our number one item. Or if it's something that's, sometimes it can be a hard pill to swallow, but if it's just not working out, you might just need to remove it from your menu, especially if it's something that you're actually ordering specifically for that, because I know there's times where you use other things that, oh, we already have this on hand, so we make this. But, if it's something you're spending on and it's not making you any money, it might be time to take that off the menu. And that goes with anything, not just food. You might think you have a great idea, but deep down, you got to think, is this really, it didn't really work like I wanted to, I gotta swallow this pill and maybe let's not do this anymore. So yeah, like you said, it's a great time to review all those things.
Yes, for sure. And when it comes to looking at your food and beverage menu and evaluating what is working and what's not working, as you said, that report is a really good one to look at. But it also, I mean, believe it or not, when you have items on your menu that are absolutely not selling, not only are you carrying stuff likely carrying more stuff in inventory that's just sitting there and could potentially go bad and you have to write it off. But the other thing that it does is it creates a lot of price keys. So when you are looking at your POS and you see, 50 price keys, but only 25 are being used, well, that's overwhelming, especially to a new employee that's trying to learn the keyboard and where things are. Same thing goes to, like if you're offering things on your kiosk, but you're offering things that aren't really selling, then that's just one more thing for the kiosk customer to look at when they're trying to determine what they want to purchase.
Yeah.
So, evaluating that is super, super good. But as you said, it also goes into what packages, what programs am I using? If I have 5 birthday parties, but I've only sold, you know, 3 of package number 3 and 4, well, you know what? I think it's probably time to lay those to rest.
Yeah.
So it's a great time, as I said, to evaluate things and look at what's going on. But you know what? Another big pet peeve of mine, Orly, is it's also a great time to look at what you are advertising on your monitors and on your website, and make sure that if it is January 1st, that you've still not got your Christmas special going on your monitors. That just shows that your advertising is not important. And it's also a good time to kind of fluff it up a little bit. So maybe you want to keep the messaging the same that you offer birthday parties or corporate parties, but change the look.
Yeah.
Change
And also your website, double check that, because there's nothing worse than somebody coming in and say, hey, I see that you guys have this deal going. And we're like, oh, that actually ended in October, but it's still up there. So yeah, we'll do it. So that's a good thing. Another thing too is hours. I know for some people, you're set on your hours, but for instance, we're in a small town, and we at one time in the beginning, open till 2 a.m. like we're a bar. But if you have 2 people coming in from midnight to 2 a.m., yeah, those 2 people are gonna, and this is gonna be with everything. You're gonna get the couple people that ordered that one birthday party package that you didn't really sell all year. They're gonna be, a little upset, but you just gotta have to let them know, it wasn't selling properly, because yeah, and you just kind of have to evaluate all that. So, I mean, if you have thousands and thousands of customers, but only 2 people are buying them, sometimes you have to let go of that, whatever it is that you're trying to please those 2 people with.
Of course, of course. The other I always use, of course, to me, January is always that time to reset, make sure that my filing system is cleaned out and all that kind of stuff. But it was also it's a good opportunity for you to look at your database and look for duplicates and make sure, your database is such an important part of your operations, and making sure that you're keeping that accurate and up to date is really important. So it's a good time to take a look and merge duplicates and get rid of anything that's not relevant anymore. So and just reset, right? Set your goals for the new year and reset your staff. Make sure that everybody's in the right mindset for the year. And it's just so refreshing coming out of a super stressful time of the year with all the holiday parties, and we know during the holidays there's also a lot of people calling in and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just a stressful time of year. So to be able to reflect on what you did right, and what was successful for you, and to kind of reset and say, okay, here's my focus for 2024. These are some things I'm going to do to prepare us to set the groundwork for a successful 2024. And then at that point, sit back and just make it happen, right?
Yeah, and I think another reason it's a good time to do it is, if you take something like off the menu, or you change your hours in the middle of the year. I mean, sometimes you have to do that. But if you do it in the middle of the year, people are kind of like, what? Like, I've been coming here this time and ordering this all the time. But if you do it at the end of the year, you kind of have that, hey, it's a new year, we're changing up some things. You could kind of promote it that way too, so people understand. Or, hey, new year, new changes we have coming. So, stay tuned for, and you could even kind of push it, hey, stay tuned for some new changes. They'll be announced soon, and it maybe will get the people excited for something new. So
100%, I agree. And of course, Orly, I'm assuming that we are also past the New Year's Eve party too. So, we gotta get through that as well. And then at that point, we all can breathe just a little bit, right? All the holiday parties we still have them throughout the year, the month of January, because there's a lot of hotels and restaurants that it's just too busy for them during December. And as you know, they do their events in January. So, but yeah, once those New Year's Eve parties are done and you have that opportunity to reflect and reset, then that really just sets you up for a successful 2024. So Orly, I am thrilled that we are able to kind of plant that seed with our listeners, because we get so busy that sometimes we just forget that we have to take time to evaluate. So
Yeah, and as much as I would love to keep talking about this, I have to let you guys know I think it's time for me to go reflect and reset. So I think until next time, thank you for joining us on an episode of Seeds of Success.